You are not overthinking because you are weak. You are overthinking because your heart is trying to control what only Allah can handle. You keep replaying the same problem again and again. You imagine the worst. You fear what people will do, what tomorrow will bring, what you might lose, what may never change. Your body is here, but your mind is trapped in a future that has not even arrived yet. But listen carefully. The thing you fear is already under Allah's control. The future you are worried about is already known to Allah. The door you cannot open, the heart you cannot change, the answer you cannot force, the pain you cannot explain. Allah is handling all of it in ways you cannot see. So stop punishing yourself with thoughts that do not bring peace. Stop living in fear of a tomorrow that belongs to Allah. This reminder is for the tired heart that keeps thinking too much, fearing too much, and carrying too much. Stay with me until the end, because what you are afraid of may already be the place where Allah is preparing your relief. Overthinking begins when you forget Allah is in control. My beloved brothers and sisters, overthinking becomes heavy when your heart starts believing that everything depends on you. You keep thinking about tomorrow, what people will say, what might go wrong, what you may lose, and before anything happens, your heart is already tired. But Allah did not create you to carry the unseen. Allah created you to make effort, make dua, trust Him, and leave what you cannot control in His hands. وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَتَوَكَّلُوا إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. Overthinking makes you feel like worry is protecting you, but worry does not protect you. Allah protects you. Worry steals your sleep, weakens your heart, and makes the problem look bigger than it really is. Tawakkul reminds you that the problem may be big, but Allah is greater. So when your mind says, "What if everything goes wrong?" answer it with faith and say, Allah is in control. When your heart says, "I cannot handle this," remind it, Allah will give me strength. When fear says you are alone, remind yourself, Allah knows what I fear, and Allah is already handling what I cannot see. Do your part, but do not try to do Allah's part. Take the step, make the dua, protect your heart, and leave the result to Him. Peace begins when the servant stops carrying the future and trusts the one who owns it. Little long, Lesson 1. Overthinking begins when you forget Allah is in control. My beloved brothers and sisters, overthinking does not begin because your problems are too big. It begins when your heart slowly forgets that Allah is bigger than every problem. You keep thinking about tomorrow, worrying about what people will do, fearing what you might lose, and imagining situations that have not even happened yet. Before the test arrives, your heart is already exhausted because you are carrying a future that Allah never asked you to carry. وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَتَوَكَّلُوا إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. Overthinking makes you believe that if you think long enough, you will somehow control the outcome. But the truth is, worry has never changed destiny. It has only stolen your peace. Allah never asked you to control every situation. He asked you to make sincere effort, make dua, choose what is right, and trust Him with everything beyond your control. Many of us spend hours thinking about the worst possible outcome instead of remembering the best possible promise from Allah. We replay painful memories, imagine fearful futures, and forget that the one who protected us yesterday is still protecting us today. If Allah carried you through every hardship in your past, why do you think He will abandon you now? Whenever your mind starts saying, "What if everything goes wrong?" stop and remind your heart, Allah is already in control. When fear tells you that you are alone, remind yourself that Allah knows every hidden worry before you even speak about it. The future belongs to Allah, not to your anxiety. Do your best, make your dua, and leave the result to Allah. The moment you stop trying to carry what belongs to Allah, your heart begins to find the peace it has been searching for. Allah is already handling what you fear. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the biggest reasons we overthink is because we believe we have to solve everything ourselves. We think if we keep worrying, we will somehow protect our future. But the future is not in your hands. It has always been in the hands of Allah. The fear that keeps you awake at night is already known to the one who never sleeps. The problem that looks impossible to you is never impossible for Allah. Sometimes you are afraid of losing someone, but Allah already knows whether that person is good for your life. Sometimes you are worried about your rizq, while Allah has already written every blessing that will reach you. Sometimes you fear tomorrow because you cannot see it, but Allah sees every second of your future with perfect knowledge and perfect wisdom. The greatest mistake is allowing your fear to become bigger than your trust in Allah. You keep asking yourself, what if it all goes wrong? But have you ever asked yourself, what if Allah is already protecting me from something I cannot see? The delay you hate may be saving you. The closed door may be protecting you. The person who walked away may be making room for someone better. What you call disappointment today may become the reason you thank Allah tomorrow. Remember how many times Allah helped you before. There were moments when you thought your life would never get better, yet Allah made a way. There were problems you believed had no solution, yet Allah solved them in ways you never expected. The same Allah who carried you through your past is carrying you today, even if you cannot see His plan yet. So stop asking, what if everything falls apart, and start reminding your heart, Allah is already handling what I fear. Keep making dua, keep doing your best, and keep trusting Him. When Allah is in control, your worry will never be stronger than His mercy, and your fear will never be greater than His plan. Most of your fears exist only in your mind. Hakris, my beloved brothers and sisters, overthinking has a dangerous habit. It makes you suffer from things that have not even happened. It takes one small fear and turns it into 100 different disasters. You begin asking yourself, what if I fail? What if they leave me? What if I never recover? What if my dua is never answered? What if my future falls apart? Before anything has happened, your heart is already carrying the pain of tomorrow. This is one of Shaitan's greatest tricks. He wants you to become so busy fearing the future that you forget the Lord of the future. He wants you to spend your nights imagining problems instead of making dua. He wants your thoughts to become louder than your trust in Allah. Slowly your fear becomes stronger than your faith, and your heart loses the peace Allah wants for you. But ask yourself honestly, how many things did you worry about last year that never actually happened? How many sleepless nights did you spend thinking your life was over, only for Allah to open a door you never expected? How many times did you believe there was no way out, and then Allah created a solution from a place you never imagined? Your own life is proof that Allah has been taking care of you all along. The problem is not that you think, the problem is that you keep thinking without returning those thoughts to Allah. Every time fear enters your mind, you have two choices. You can feed it until it grows, or you can place it before Allah until it becomes smaller. Every thought does not deserve your attention. Every fear does not deserve your belief. Some thoughts are only whispers trying to steal your peace. Remember, Allah never asked you to predict the future. He only asked you to trust Him with it. You are not responsible for knowing what will happen tomorrow. You are responsible for obeying Allah today. Tomorrow belongs to Allah, and the one who controls tomorrow is the same one who has been protecting you since the day you were born. So when your mind begins creating stories that fill your heart with fear, stop for a moment and remember who Allah is. He is the one who can change your situation in a single moment. He can open a closed door, soften a hard heart, remove a heavy burden, replace your sadness with peace, and turn your greatest fear into your greatest blessing. Nothing is difficult for Allah. Do not allow your imagination to become stronger than your faith. Replace every what if everything goes wrong with what if Allah is preparing something better. Replace every fearful thought with trust. Replace every sleepless night with sincere dua. The more you remember Allah, the quieter your fears become. The more you rely on Him, the lighter your heart becomes. Always remember this, your mind sees possibilities but Allah knows reality. Your mind sees danger but Allah sees protection. Your mind sees closed doors but Allah sees the doors that are about to open. So stop letting your thoughts control your heart. Let your trust in Allah control your thoughts. That is where true peace begins. Do not let tomorrow steal the peace Allah gave you today. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the most painful things about overthinking is that it pulls you out of the moment Allah has given you and throws your heart into a future that has not even arrived. You may be sitting with your family, but your mind is somewhere else. You may be eating food Allah provided, but you cannot enjoy it because your thoughts are busy with fear. You may be praying, but your heart is running behind tomorrow's problems. You may be lying in bed, but instead of resting, your mind is fighting battles that Allah has not even written for you to face yet. This is how overthinking steals your life slowly. It does not always destroy you in one moment. It steals one peaceful breath, then one quiet night, then one prayer, then one day of gratitude, then one beautiful blessing you could have enjoyed, until you realize your body has been living today, but your heart has been trapped in tomorrow. And tomorrow, my beloved brothers and sisters, belongs to Allah. You do not own it. You do not control it. You do not even know if the fear you are imagining will ever happen. So why are you giving your peace today to a pain that may never arrive? Many people think they are being responsible when they overthink, but there is a difference between planning and panicking. Planning is calm. Panicking is fear. Planning makes you take wise action. Panicking makes you lose sleep and still solve nothing. Planning says, I will do what is right and leave the result to Allah. Panicking says, everything depends on me, and if I cannot control it, I cannot rest. The believer is not careless, but the believer is not a prisoner of fear either. Allah gave you today. Use today well. Pray today with presence. Make dua today with sincerity. Repent today before the heart becomes harder. Speak kindly today. Take the halal step today. Fix what you can fix today. Protect your heart today. Be grateful today. Do not spend the whole day worrying about a tomorrow that Allah has already written with knowledge greater than yours. Sometimes you want the whole path to be clear before you move. You want Allah to show you every answer, every person's intention, every door, every result, every detail of the future, and only then you say, I will feel peaceful. But that is not trust. Trust is when you take the next step, even when the whole road is not visible. Trust is when your heart says, Ya Allah, I do not know what is coming, but you know, and that is enough for me. Look at how Allah has carried you until today. There were days you feared you would not survive, but you survived. There were nights you thought your heart would never heal, but Allah gave you strength. There were doors you thought would never open, but Allah opened another way. There were people you thought you could never live without, but Allah taught you how to stand again. So why are you afraid of tomorrow, as if the Lord who helped you yesterday will not help you tomorrow? Your overthinking says, what if I lose something? But faith says, whatever Allah writes for me will reach me. Your overthinking says, what if people leave? But faith says, if Allah removes them, He knows why. Your overthinking says, what if I fail? But faith says, Allah can raise me even after failure. Your overthinking says, what if nothing changes? But faith says, Allah can change everything in a single moment. Do not allow your fear of tomorrow to make you blind to the blessings of today. You may be asking Allah for peace while ignoring the small peace He already placed around you. You may be asking Allah for mercy while forgetting how much mercy is already keeping you alive. You may be asking Allah for help while forgetting how many unseen harms He has already protected you from. Overthinking makes you count what could go wrong. Gratitude makes you see what Allah has already made right. And understand this carefully. The future will come with its own strength from Allah. You do not need to carry next month's pain today. You do not need to carry next year's worries tonight. When the test arrives, the help of Allah arrives with it. When the burden comes, the strength comes with it. When the door closes, Allah can open another. When people change, Allah remains the same. When life becomes uncertain, Allah's knowledge is still perfect. So stop living in a fear that has no proof except your imagination. Stop rehearsing pain that Allah may never allow to happen. Stop losing today's peace because of tomorrow's possibilities. Take a deep breath and return your heart to the present moment. This moment is where your prayer is. This moment is where your dua is. This moment is where your obedience is. This moment is where Allah is asking you to trust Him. You do not have to solve your whole life today. You do not have to understand every delay today. You do not have to know every answer today. You only have to do what pleases Allah today and trust Him with what comes after. That is enough. That is faith. That is where the heart begins to rest. So when tomorrow tries to frighten you, remind yourself that tomorrow is not in the hands of your anxiety. Tomorrow is in the hands of Allah. The same Allah who knows what you fear also knows how to protect you from it. The same Allah who knows what you need also knows when to give it. The same Allah who wrote your future also wrote the mercy you will need to reach it. Do not let tomorrow steal today's peace. Today, remember Allah. Today, make dua. Today, take the right step. Today, breathe with trust. Tomorrow will come by the permission of Allah, and when it comes, Allah will already be there with His knowledge, His mercy, His wisdom, and His plan. What you cannot control is not yours to carry. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the biggest reasons people overthink is because they are trying to control things that Allah never placed in their hands. You want to control how people feel about you, how they speak about you, whether they stay, whether they understand you, whether they change, whether they apologize, whether they value you, and whether they treat you the way your heart hoped they would. But people's hearts are not in your hands. Their intentions are not in your hands. Their choices are not in your hands. Your job is to be sincere, to be honest, to fear Allah in your actions, to protect your dignity, and to do what is right. After that, you must leave people to Allah. When you try to control what is not yours, your heart becomes exhausted. You keep thinking, why did they say that? Why did they change? Why did they leave? Why did they not understand me? Why did they not care the way I cared? And the more you ask these questions, the more your heart becomes trapped in a place where there is no peace. Sometimes the answer is simple. Allah did not give you control over them because He wants you to return control back to Him. You cannot force someone to love you sincerely. You cannot force someone to respect you properly. You cannot force someone to see your pain. You cannot force someone to become loyal. You cannot force someone to become the person you prayed they would be. You can advise with wisdom, you can make dua, you can be patient, you can set boundaries, but you cannot enter another person's heart and change it. Only Allah can turn hearts. So why are you destroying your peace over what only Allah can change? Many people lose themselves because they keep trying to fix people who do not want to be fixed. They keep explaining to people who do not want to understand. They keep chasing people who Allah may be removing. They keep holding on to situations that are slowly breaking their connection with Allah, and then they wonder why they are always tired. They are tired because they are carrying a responsibility that does not belong to them. Your peace begins when you understand your limit. You are responsible for your effort, not the outcome. You are responsible for your character, not people's reaction. You are responsible for your dua, not the timing of the answer. You are responsible for taking the halal step, not forcing the door to open. You are responsible for speaking the truth with wisdom, not making everyone accept it. When you know your role, your heart becomes lighter. There are things in life that you must handle, and there are things you must hand over to Allah. If you made a mistake, correct it. If you hurt someone, apologize. If you are in sin, leave it. If you need to work harder, work harder. If you need to make a decision, make it with prayer and wisdom. But after you have done what is in your hands, do not keep punishing yourself over what is only in Allah's hands. Overthinking says, I must know how everything will end. Faith says, Allah knows the ending, and that is enough. Overthinking says, I must make this person stay. Faith says, if Allah writes them for me, they will remain, and if Allah removes them, there is wisdom. Overthinking says, I must open this door now. Faith says, no door opens before Allah allows it, and no door closes unless Allah knows why. This is the difference between panic and tawakkul. Panic makes you believe that if you stop worrying, everything will fall apart. Tawakkul teaches you that everything is already being held by Allah, even when you are not worrying. Your anxiety is not what keeps your life together. Allah is the one keeping your life together. Your overthinking is not what protects your future. Allah is the one protecting your future. Sometimes you say, but I care too much. That is why I overthink. Caring is not the problem. The problem is when caring becomes controlling. You can care and still trust Allah. You can love someone and still leave their heart to Allah. You can want a blessing and still accept Allah's timing. You can work for something and still surrender the result. This is not weakness. This is faith with maturity. Do not confuse surrender with giving up. Surrender does not mean you stop trying. Surrender means you stop pretending that everything depends on you. Surrender means you take the step, then leave the road to Allah. You plant the seed, then leave the growth to Allah. You make the dua, then leave the answer to Allah. You protect your heart, then leave the unseen to Allah. There is so much peace in saying, Ya Allah, I have done what I can, and what I cannot do, I leave with you. Say it when your mind becomes loud. Say it when people disappoint you. Say it when the future scares you. Say it when your heart wants to control everything. Say it until your soul remembers that you are a servant and Allah is the Lord. You do not need to carry people's opinions. You do not need to carry every possible future. You do not need to carry every unanswered question. You do not need to carry every fear before it happens. Some burdens become painful only because you keep picking them up after Allah told you to trust Him with them. So release what is not yours. Release the heart you cannot change. Release the door you cannot force. Release the apology you may never receive. Release the future you cannot see. Release the fear that keeps stealing your sleep. Place it all before Allah and say, Ya Allah, handle what my heart cannot handle. When you finally stop carrying what belongs to Allah, you will not become careless. You will become peaceful. You will still make effort, but your effort will not destroy you. You will still care, but your care will not control you. You will still make dua, but your dua will come with trust, not panic. You will still walk forward, but your heart will no longer be chained to fear. My beloved brothers and sisters, what you cannot control is not yours to carry. Allah is not asking you to hold the whole world in your chest. He is asking you to hold faith in your heart. Do your part, trust His plan, and leave the rest to Him. The matter that is too heavy for you is light for Allah, and the future that is hidden from you is already known to Him. Allah's plan is working even when you see nothing. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the hardest parts of overthinking is that the heart wants to see everything immediately. You want to see the answer. You want to see the door opening. You want to see the problem ending. You want to see the person changing. You want to see the relief arriving. And when you do not see anything with your eyes, your mind begins to whisper, nothing is happening. But this is where faith must become stronger than what your eyes can see. Because just because you see nothing changing does not mean Allah is doing nothing. Allah works in ways you cannot always see. A seed grows under the ground before it appears above the soil. A child grows in the womb before the world sees the child. Healing begins inside the wound before the skin looks normal again. In the same way, Allah may be arranging your relief in the unseen while your eyes only see delay. Allah may be moving people, closing harmful doors, opening better doors, protecting your heart, preparing your strength, and writing a way out while you are still thinking nothing is changing. This is why overthinking becomes so dangerous. It makes you judge Allah's plan too early. You look at one quiet season and think the story is over. You look at one closed door and think every door is closed. You look at one delay and think Allah has forgotten you. You look at one painful chapter and think your whole life will remain painful. But the believer must never judge the whole journey by one difficult moment, because Allah can change a situation in a way you never expected and at a time you never imagined. Sometimes Allah does not show you the plan because He is teaching you trust. If you saw every detail, you would not need tawakkul. If you knew every answer, you would not need patience. If every door opened immediately, you would not learn dependence on Allah. Sometimes the darkness of not knowing is the place where your faith becomes real. It is easy to say, I trust Allah, when everything is clear. But real trust appears when the road is dark and your heart still says, Allah knows what I do not know. Maybe you are asking Allah to change the situation, but Allah is first changing you. Maybe you are asking for relief, but Allah is first building patience in your heart. Maybe you are asking for success, but Allah is first teaching you discipline. Maybe you are asking for love, but Allah is first teaching you self-respect. Maybe you are asking for a new beginning, but Allah is first healing the wound from the old chapter. You want the blessing quickly, but Allah knows that if He gives it before you are ready, the blessing itself may become a test that harms you. Think about your life. There were things you wanted so badly, but later you thanked Allah for not giving them to you. There were people you were afraid to lose, but later you realized Allah protected your peace when they left. There were doors you cried over, but later you saw that behind those doors there was pain Allah saved you from. At the time you did not understand, at the time you thought nothing good could come from it, but later Allah showed you a small part of the wisdom and your heart said, Alhamdulillah, Allah knew what I did not know. So why do you think this chapter is different? Why do you think Allah helped you before but will not help you now? Why do you think the Lord who guided you through your past darkness will leave you in this one? The same Allah who created a way before can create a way again. The same Allah who healed old wounds can heal this wound too. The same Allah who replaced what you lost before can replace what you lose now with something better, cleaner, and more peaceful. Overthinking tells you, if I cannot see it, it is not happening. Faith tells you, Allah does not need me to see it for it to be happening. Overthinking says, the door is closed. Faith says, Allah owns all doors. Overthinking says, the answer is late. Faith says, Allah's timing is perfect. Overthinking says, I am stuck. Faith says, Allah can move me forward in one moment. Sometimes your relief is being prepared through people you have not met yet, through opportunities you have not heard of yet, through a conversation that has not happened yet, through a door that is not visible yet, through a lesson your heart has not completed yet. You are looking at today and thinking it is the whole story, but Allah is arranging tomorrow, next month, next year, and even the reward of the Akhirah in ways your mind cannot hold. Do not stop making dua just because the situation still looks the same. Do not leave prayer because the answer is not visible yet. Do not stop trusting Allah because the path is not clear yet. Sometimes the strongest worship is the dua you make when you see no sign. Sometimes the most valuable patience is the patience you keep when no one understands you're waiting. Sometimes the most beautiful tawakkul is when your heart is shaking, but you still refuse to accuse Allah. Allah may be hiding the plan from you, but He is not hiding you from His mercy. He may not show you the reason yet, but He knows your tears. He may not open the door yet, but He hears your dua. He may not remove the test yet, but He is giving you strength every day to survive it. You may think you are standing alone, but every breath you take is proof that Allah is still sustaining you. And remember, not every answer comes in the form you expected. Sometimes you ask Allah to bring someone back, and Allah gives you the strength to move on. Sometimes you ask Allah to open one door, and He closes it because He is preparing a better one. Sometimes you ask Allah to remove the pain, and He first removes the attachment that caused the pain. Sometimes you ask Allah to change your life, and He begins by changing your heart. This is why the believer must trust Allah's hidden work. Do not only trust Allah when you see movement. Trust Him in silence. Do not only trust Allah when doors open, trust Him when doors close. Do not only trust Allah when people stay, trust Him when people leave. Do not only trust Allah when you feel strong, trust Him when your voice is shaking and your eyes are full of tears. The unseen is not empty. The unseen is in the hands of Allah. Your future is not empty. It is in the hands of Allah. Your unanswered dua is not lost. It is in the hands of Allah. Your delayed relief is not forgotten. It is in the hands of Allah. So stop looking at your life through fear and start looking at it through faith. If Allah has written relief for you, it will reach you. If Allah has written protection through delay, the delay will save you. If Allah has written something better than what you are asking for, then one day you will understand why what you wanted did not come. My beloved brothers and sisters, your job is not to see the whole plan. Your job is to trust the planner. Your job is not to force every door. Your job is to knock with dua and walk with patience. Your job is not to control the unseen. Your job is to obey Allah in what is seen and leave the hidden matters to Him. So when your mind says nothing is happening, remind it, Allah is working in the unseen. When your heart says the answer is too late, remind it, Allah is never late. When fear says there is no way, remind it, Allah creates ways where no way exists. When overthinking says, you must figure everything out, remind it, I am a servant and my Lord is enough for me. Keep praying even when you do not see change. Keep trusting even when you do not understand. Keep walking even when the road feels slow. Keep your heart with Allah even when your mind is tired. The plan of Allah is not weak because you cannot see it. The mercy of Allah is not absent because you cannot feel it yet. The relief of Allah is not impossible because your situation looks difficult. One day, you may look back and realize Allah was protecting you while you were panicking. He was preparing you while you were waiting. He was guiding you while you were confused. He was strengthening you while you felt weak. He was removing harm while you thought you were losing something good. He was writing mercy while your heart only saw pain. So stop overthinking like nothing is happening. Allah's plan is moving. Allah's wisdom is working. Allah's mercy is surrounding you. Allah is handling what you fear, even when your eyes cannot see it yet. Trust Him in the unseen, because the unseen is exactly where Allah is arranging what your heart has been praying for. Replace overthinking with dua, patience and trust. My beloved brothers and sisters, overthinking will not leave your heart only because you say, I want to stop. Overthinking leaves when you replace it with something stronger. If fear is living inside your heart, you must replace it with trust. If panic is filling your mind, you must replace it with dua. If your thoughts are running toward the worst ending, you must bring them back to Allah and remind yourself that the one who controls the ending is more merciful than your fear. Many people try to stop overthinking by fighting their thoughts with more thoughts. They sit alone and say, why am I thinking like this? Why can't I stop? What if this happens? What if that happens? And instead of becoming free, they become more trapped. Because the mind cannot heal itself while it keeps running in the same circle. The heart needs Allah. The heart needs prayer. The heart needs remembrance. The heart needs surrender. The heart needs to stop speaking only to itself and start speaking to the one who created it. When overthinking comes, do not just sit with it until it becomes bigger. Turn it into dua immediately. If you are afraid of losing something, say, Ya Allah, if it is good for me, keep it close, and if it is harmful for me, remove my attachment to it. If you are afraid of the future, say, Ya Allah, I do not know what is coming, but you know, so guide me and protect me. If you are afraid of people, say, Ya Allah, protect me from the harm of creation and make me dependent only upon you. If your heart is tired, say, Ya Allah, carry what I cannot carry. This is the beauty of dua. Dua takes the fear out of your chest and places it before Allah. Dua reminds you that you are not alone with your problem. Dua teaches your heart that you do not need perfect words to be heard by Allah. Sometimes the most powerful dua is not long. Sometimes it is only a broken heart saying, Ya Allah, help me. Sometimes it is only tears falling in silence. Sometimes it is only a weak voice whispering, Ya Allah, I cannot do this without you. Allah understands even the pain you cannot explain. But after dua, you need patience. Because many people make dua, but they want the answer immediately. They say, Ya Allah, I leave it to you. But if the situation does not change quickly, they take the worry back again. They pray, but then they panic. They ask Allah, but then they speak like Allah has not heard them. My beloved brothers and sisters, dua is not magic that follows your timing. Dua is worship, and Allah answers with wisdom. Sometimes He gives you what you asked for. Sometimes He gives you something better. Sometimes He removes harm from you. Sometimes He saves the reward for a day when you will need it more than anything in this world. So be patient with Allah's answer. Do not rush the plan of the one who knows what you do not know. If Allah delays something, there is wisdom. If Allah removes something, there is wisdom. If Allah closes a door, there is wisdom. If Allah makes you wait, there is wisdom. Your job is not to force the answer. Your job is to keep your heart faithful while the answer is being prepared. Patience does not mean you feel nothing. Patience does not mean your heart never hurts. Patience does not mean you never cry. Patience means your pain does not make you disobey Allah. Patience means your sadness does not make you lose hope in Allah. Patience means your waiting does not make you speak badly about Allah's plan. Patience means that even when your heart is heavy, your tongue still says, Allah knows best. And then comes trust. Trust is when your heart finally accepts that Allah's plan is safer than your own plan. Trust is when you stop trying to understand every detail before you surrender. Trust is when you do your best, but you stop destroying yourself over what is not in your hands. Trust is when the door is closed, but your heart says, Allah can open another. Trust is when people leave, but your heart says Allah remains. Trust is when life becomes unclear, but your soul says, my Lord is never confused. You must train your heart to return to Allah every time fear returns. Overthinking may not disappear in one day. The fear may come again, the old thoughts may knock again, the worry may rise again at night, but every time it comes, return again. This is how a believer fights. Not by pretending there is no struggle, but by bringing every struggle back to Allah. If fear returns 10 times, return to Allah 10 times. If your heart becomes heavy again, make dua again. If your mind becomes loud again, remind it again that Allah is in control. Do not be angry with yourself because you are struggling. You are human. Even strong believers feel fear. Even patient people become tired. Even righteous hearts cry. The goal is not to become a person who never feels pain. The goal is to become a person whose pain keeps returning to Allah instead of running away from Him. Some people allow overthinking to steal their prayer. They say, I am too worried to pray properly. But prayer is exactly where your worry needs to go. Some people say, my mind is too busy to make dua. But dua is exactly what your busy mind needs. Some people say, my heart is too broken to stand before Allah. But a broken heart belongs at the door of Allah more than anywhere else. Do not wait until you feel peaceful to pray. Pray so that peace can enter. Do not wait until you feel strong to make dua. Make dua so Allah can strengthen you. Do not wait until your situation is fixed to trust Allah. Trust Allah while the situation is still difficult. That is real faith. Anyone can say Alhamdulillah when life is easy, but the servant who says Alhamdulillah with tears in the eyes has a heart Allah knows deeply. You also need to protect your heart from things that increase overthinking. If certain conversations keep making you anxious, step back with wisdom. If certain people keep reopening wounds that Allah is trying to heal, protect your distance. If certain memories keep dragging you into sadness, stop feeding them every night. If your phone, your comparisons, your old messages, or your silent stalking of someone's life is making your heart restless, then be honest enough to close that door. Do not ask Allah for peace while you keep returning to the places that steal it. Tawakkul does not mean you sit in the fire and say, Allah will protect me, while refusing to move. Tawakkul means you trust Allah and take the steps that please Him. If something is harming your faith, leave it. If a habit is damaging your heart, fight it. If a person is pulling you away from Allah, create distance. If a thought is leading you toward despair, replace it with remembrance. If a fear is growing because you keep feeding it, stop feeding it. The heart needs discipline. Peace is not always automatic. Sometimes you must fight for your peace by choosing what enters your mind and what stays in your heart. You cannot let every thought become your leader. You cannot let every fear become your truth. You cannot let every pain become your identity. You are not your anxiety. You are not your overthinking. You are not your worst thought. You are a servant of Allah, and your heart was created to find rest in Him. When your mind says, what if I fail? Answer it with dua and effort. When your mind says, what if they leave? Answer it with trust that Allah removes and replaces with wisdom. When your mind says, what if I never heal? Answer it by remembering that Allah heals wounds people cannot even see. When your mind says, what if my life falls apart? Answer it by remembering how many times Allah held you together when you thought you would break. Do not let overthinking become your worship. Some people think about their problems more than they remember Allah. They repeat their fears more than they repeat their du'as. They spend more time imagining failure than asking Allah for success. They spend more time replaying pain than seeking healing. Slowly, their problem becomes the center of their life. But the believer's heart must have Allah at the center, not fear, not people, not the future, not loss, not rejection, not uncertainty. So replace the habit. When fear comes, make dua. When worry comes, remember Allah. When panic comes, take the next halal step. When sadness comes, go to prayer. When confusion comes, ask Allah for guidance. When your heart becomes weak, remind yourself of every time Allah carried you before. This is how you slowly train the soul. This is how overthinking loses its power. You may not be able to stop every thought from coming, but you can choose not to build a home for it. You may not be able to stop every fear from knocking, but you can choose not to open the door and serve it tea. You may not be able to control every feeling, but you can control where you take that feeling. Take it to Allah, take it to sujood, take it to dua, take it to patience, take it to trust. And my beloved brothers and sisters, remember that Allah sees your effort. He sees that you are trying. He sees that you are fighting your thoughts. He sees that you are trying to trust Him while your heart is shaking. He sees that you are trying to pray even when your mind is tired. He sees that you are trying to let go of what keeps hurting you. People may not notice your private struggle, but Allah sees every small victory. Maybe today your victory is that you did not fall back into despair. Maybe today your victory is that you made dua instead of overthinking for another hour. Maybe today your victory is that you did not message someone who keeps hurting you. Maybe today your victory is that you prayed while your heart was heavy. Maybe today your victory is simply that you are still trying. Do not underestimate that. Allah knows the weight of what you are carrying. There will come a time by the mercy of Allah when the thing that keeps you awake tonight will not hurt you the same way. There will come a time when Allah will show you why you had to wait, why you had to let go, why that door had to close, why that person had to leave, why that plan had to change, and why this season was necessary for your heart. But until that time comes, do not lose yourself in overthinking. Lose your fear in dua, lose your panic in prayer, lose your weakness in trust. Stop overthinking, because Allah is already handling what you fear. Stop carrying tomorrow like Allah will not be there. Stop living inside possibilities that may never happen. Stop letting one fear steal 1,000 blessings. Do what you can today. Obey Allah today. Make dua today. Seek forgiveness today. Take one step today and leave tomorrow with the one who owns it. Your future is not in the hands of your anxiety. Your rizq is not in the hands of people. Your healing is not in the hands of those who hurt you. Your peace is not in the hands of the world. Your life is in the hands of Allah, and the hands of Allah are enough. So keep praying, keep trusting, keep walking, keep returning. Even if your heart trembles, return. Even if your eyes cry, return. Even if your mind becomes loud, return. Every time you return to Allah, overthinking loses a little more power over you. The fear you are carrying is not bigger than Allah's mercy. The future you are worried about is not outside Allah's knowledge. The problem you cannot solve is not difficult for Allah. The door you cannot open is not locked to Allah. The wound you cannot heal is not hidden from Allah. So tonight, place your fear before Allah and say, Ya Allah, I have thought about this enough. I have worried about this enough. I have carried this enough. Now I leave it with you. Guide me, protect me, heal me, and handle what my heart cannot handle. And then breathe with trust, because once you place your matter with Allah, it is in the safest place it could ever be. My beloved brothers and sisters, stop overthinking as if Allah has left your life in your hands alone. The matter you fear is not hidden from Allah. The future you worry about is not unknown to Allah. The pain you keep replaying in your mind is not ignored by Allah. He knows what is breaking you. He knows what is scaring you. He knows what you are waiting for, and He knows what your heart cannot explain to anyone. So tonight, do not go back to the same fear. Do not keep asking, what if everything goes wrong? Ask instead, what if Allah is already making it right in a way I cannot see? What if the delay is protection? What if the closed door is mercy? What if the person who left was not rejection, but rescue? What if the thing you fear is the very place where Allah is preparing your relief? You have worried enough, you have cried enough, you have carried tomorrow for too long. Now place it with Allah. Do your part, make your dua, correct what you can, leave what harms you, protect your heart, and trust Allah with everything beyond your control. Your anxiety is not your protector. Allah is your protector. Your overthinking is not your guide. Allah is your guide. Your fear is not stronger than Allah's plan, and your problem is not greater than Allah's mercy. So breathe, pray, trust. Walk forward slowly if you must, but do not walk away from Allah. The same Allah who carried you through yesterday will carry you through tomorrow. The same Allah who heard your old du'as is hearing this one too. The same Allah who opened doors before can open doors again. Stop overthinking. Allah is handling what you fear. He knows the way out. He knows the right time. He knows what to remove. He knows what to bring closer. He knows how to heal your heart. And when Allah is handling it, your heart does not need to drown in fear. It only needs to return to Him.